How's it feel to get your first win in the UFC?
It feels great. Definitely got a little nervous there in the third round. Got hit with some big blows, but got the job done.
Spawn was somebody who had a lot of buzz on the show and everything, but what do you think has happened to him? He didn't perform as well, obviously, in the semifinals, and tonight you were able to take him out. Do you think that he was overhyped in the show?
I'm not sure about that. Spawn's just a real tough kid. He definitely doesn't stop. In the semifinals versus Matt Van Buren, I think he was doing very well, and he just kind of got caught with those repeated elbows as trying to finish the takedown. So, his toughness takes him a long way. That's why he was a very good matchup for myself. We're both tough kids that like to throw, so we had a lot of fun. I think I just had a little bit more grappling tonight.
Do you think that he was the one person that you really wanted to take out in the house the most, or do you feel like he would have been the toughest competition for you?
I think Spawn's an interesting matchup. He's someone that's somewhat similar. He does have good grappling. He's tough. He's a southpaw just like me. So I think he was a good matchup for myself because it made for somewhat of an entertaining fight. And it's definitely not someone I really want to take him out. He was someone that I thought was a stand-up guy. And I had the utmost respect for him going into the show and even going into this fight. So definitely no hard feelings on the fight going in or out. And I think he came at me hard. I came at him hard. So we had a good fight.
How grateful were you to get this opportunity to fight in the UFC, being that you were eliminated in the competition for TUF 19?
I'm definitely blessed to have that call to return back to fight on the finale. I definitely feel like I have some more to prove. I have so much more room to grow. I really haven't been around the sport for too long, and there's definitely a lot more to show.
You said you were mixing up your fight camps when I talked to you previously before the finale, and you'd said that you were training at all the different places that you possibly could. Where did you mainly focus your training for this camp?
I stopped by Sityo Tong, Peter Welch's, and Victory Combat Academy. A couple of gyms with a lot of coaches that helped me out. John Doomsday Howard was probably the biggest influence. He was great. He stayed with me the whole way and actually flew out and cornered me for this fight. So that was probably the most important person to me for this fight camp. And just mixing it up, that's something, I've kind of always been somewhat of a nomad, not really having, a full-time gym to go to. I came out as a wrestler, so I kind of already had some credentials. So I kind of hopped around, never really had too much of a home gym. But now I'm starting to kind of get my feet a little bit more solid. I'll still do the running around, the training, but I definitely want to kind of get one full camp together where I'm staying in one place.
Dana White said when the show was filming, if there was an incident at the house that Mark Coleman had to come and he came and talk to you guys and resolved it, but it never made the cut on the show. What happened there? Can you explain the story to us?
The incident with Mark Coleman having to step in with a little bit more discipline. It was just some of the fighters kind of messing around. I do believe it was something to do with the cameraman, and one of the fighters kind of mouthed off to him. So Mark Coleman put him through a little extra workout, put him through some hell. So it was interesting to watch. I know I did have a little peek, and Mark Coleman had a couple fighters doing some burpees, sprawls, and some runs for about an hour straight. So that's what I heard about it. I really didn't get the whole story, but it was definitely someone you have to be intimidated by, someone like Mark Coleman putting you through a disciplinary workout.
Yeah, and obviously the talk around the season, Dana White came out and said it was the worst season of the Ultimate Fighter so far. How much pressure did that put on you to come in here tonight and prove a point that you are capable of being in the UFC?
It's interesting. The season as a whole, this is an individual sport, so I look at myself, my fights. My first fight, I had a finish. I had a good Kimura. My second fight against Anton, we went the distance. It was back and forth. It was a close fight. My third fight against Corey Anderson, I went out, I banged, and I think we had a good fight. And me versus Spong, we definitely threw. I had some grappling. Maybe not the most entertaining, but I think I did prove myself worthy of being here. So hopefully I still get the invite back. It's tough to hear that it was a boring season, but I think we still had a lot of talent and a lot of people that will stay in the UFC.
Yeah, we see a lot of guys switch weight classes coming off the show. Are you comfortable fighting out this weight, or do you think you might change it up going forward?
I'm definitely comfortable. I still think I'm a strong fighter at 205. I do want to lean out regardless if I make the drop down to 185 or not. But 185 is something I can definitely make. I'm just not sure if I'll be the best fighter at 185. It's something that I'll definitely have to test and see as my weight moves and as I lean out, see what kind of weight I am and see if I can make 185 and if that's the best fit for me.
Anything you'd like to say about, the scandal you caused on the show, training with the other team and having to go back to Frankie and explain everything, because it seemed like some of the guys on the team were pretty hot about that.
Yeah, I think it was just a little miscommunication. I think I took the correct steps, talking to Frankie about it, and him being completely fine. I just didn't realize, because it was such a short time frame, that I should go and let the other team know, the extra workouts that I'm getting, even if I clear it with the coaches. So I think it was just something as a surprise that they got upset, and maybe it was a surprise that they didn't know about it. I did talk with a couple kids on the team, but obviously didn't clear it with everyone. It's something that I don't feel an obligation to have to talk to multiple people about me getting an extra workout in. But it's disappointing that I wasn't able to get some more training in with someone like Mark Coleman, BJ Penn. I think they're all great guys. I think most of the team, the whole house were great guys. We just happen to have been on different teams, and I'm someone that's social. I'm someone that trains with other camps, and I have no issue with it. And it's a surprise to me when other people have issues.
Is it? Because to me, especially on a show like that where the lines are so clearly drawn, it seems to me that it's pretty understandable that they'd get upset if you went and trained with the other guys.
Not really. I'm fighting someone on my team. So in my eyes, it's an individual sport, and you're trying to prepare yourself the best you can to fight another opponent. And yes, we were, put on separate teams to start with. But then when you're fighting other people that are in the same room, it is a little weird when you're getting the same training session in the same room with your opponent. So, working on different things. I just wanted some more mat time, and the only time that I could get was when the other team was practicing. So I think that maybe people had to look more in depth. That my perspective is that I was fighting a teammate, but I can understand both sides. It just it didn't cross my mind it would be that big of an issue.
Are there any guys on the team that maybe you did kind of strike a relationship with that you plan to maybe work with coming out of the house?
Yeah, Anton Berzin. We actually fought on the show, and we had planned to get some more workouts, and that's actually what first came up about me training with the other team. Anton asked to get some rolls in. I talked to Frankie about Anton coming to practice and rolling little jits with me. He was the only black belt in the house that wasn't a coach, so I wanted to get some rolls with him, and Frankie was actually the one who told me it's better if I go to the other team and work out during their practice, just so Anton wouldn't go and talk about to the other team about something that we're doing or something. So that was one person I did plan on working out with some more. Some other guys, Eddie Gordon's in New York. A few of the other guys aren't too far away. I know Corey Anderson, he's going to be in New Jersey with a lot of Frankie's teams. So I would love to keep cross-training and keep these relationships. The whole Red team actually stays in contact via text. We have a big group text message that we use pretty regularly. So we're all in contact together. We're all still good friends.
On that note, were you surprised at all that the whole Red team is in the finals?
I wasn't surprised at all. I think we had a very talented team, and being led by Frankie, he had the best work ethic, and it was just inspirational seeing him work out the whole time, watching, showing up to practice and him already getting a workout in and then working out through our practice. It's something that, being inspired, I think it was a little bit by chance that, Frankie picked the right guys, but also the fact that we developed a little faster. I think we had a better game plan going into the show. So it's not a huge surprise. I think this is the first season where everyone's, 2 weight classes, everyone's in the finals. Plus myself getting a win on the finale definitely says something about Frankie's coaching ability.
Yeah, who do you see winning tonight between Corey and Matt?
Corey and Matt, that's tough. If Matt can keep it standing and use his length, his distance, he might be able to have it. Corey's someone, he's just so raw, so much talent, so much speed. I think Corey has it. If it was, looking at the whole MMA spectrum where he can use his takedowns, to win the fight and either keep it standing or take him down. Matt does have that length. He could definitely use that. He's got some killer kicks. I do see Corey having a slight advantage.
Sweet.